Namaskar, a warm welcome to World News, an Indian perspective on All India Radio. This is Navanita Adhikari bringing glimpses of the major developments of the day from across the globe. Over the next half an hour, we shall bring to you the latest from the world of politics, economy, sports, entertainment and more. The headlines. Millions of people listened to the 100th episode of India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi's Mann Ki Baat radio program. Special screenings arranged across the nation and abroad to celebrate the milestone. Prime Minister says Mann Ki Baat has become a festival of celebrating goodness and positivity of fellow citizens. India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh to embark on 3-day visit to Maldives. India brings back 229 more citizens from Sudan under Operation Kaveri. Conflict between Sudanese army and paramilitary rapid support forces continues. Ceasefire set to end at midnight. United States urges China to stop harassing Philippine vessels in South China Sea. And Satvik Sairaj Rankireddy and Chirag Shetty script history by winning men's doubles title of Dubai Badminton Asia Championships. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi's iconic monthly radio program Mann Ki Baat on All India Radio completed 100 episodes on Sunday. In Sunday's program, the Prime Minister said, like Vijayadashmi, Mann Ki Baat has also become an occasion to celebrate the goodness of Indians, their optimism, positivity and people's participation. The Prime Minister said the program has become a spiritual journey for him. The Prime Minister congratulated the listeners and said the program belongs to them and is an expression of their feelings. The Prime Minister expressed satisfaction that any subject which Mann Ki Baat got associated with turned into a mass movement. He gave the examples of Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, Swachh Bharat movement, Love for Khadi, Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav and Amrit Sarovar. He credited the people for the mass success of these movements.
मन की बात के जरिए कितने ही जन आंदोलन ने जन्म भी लिया है और गति भी पकड़ी है। जैसे हमारे खिलौने, हमारी टॉय इंडस्ट्री को फिर से स्थापित करने का मिशन मन की बात से ही तो शुरू हुआ था। भारतीय नस्ल के श्वान, हमारे देशी डॉग्स, उसको लेकर जागरूकता बढ़ाने की शुरुआत भी तो मन की बात से ही की थी। हमने एक और मुहिम शुरू की थी कि हम गरीब छोटे दुकानदारों से मोलभाव नहीं करेंगे, झगड़ा नहीं करेंगे.
The Prime Minister said that all the people who find mention in Mann Ki Baat are heroes who have made this program come alive. He lauded the people who have been planting trees on deserted hills and barren land for 40 years and digging step wells and ponds for water conservation for 30 years. Prime Minister praised those who have been teaching underprivileged children for 25 to 30 years and those who are helping in the treatment of the poor. Prime Minister said that this year India is moving forward in the Azadi Ka Amrit Kal and also presiding over the G20. He said this is also one of the reasons why his government's resolve to enrich diverse global cultures along with education has become stronger.
इस साल हम जहां आजादी के अमृतकाल में आगे बढ़ रहे हैं, वहीं G20 की अध्यक्षता भी कर रहे हैं. यह भी एक वजह है कि एजुकेशन के साथ साथ डाइवर्स ग्लोबल कल्चर्स को समृद्ध करने के लिए हमारा संकल्प और मजबूत हुआ है.
Mr. Modi exuded pride that hundreds of inspiring stories of women power in the country have been mentioned in the program. Prime Minister thanked the personnel of All India Radio who record this entire program with great patience.
मैं आज आकाशवाणी के साथियों को भी धन्यवाद दूंगा जो बहुत धैर्य के साथ इस पूरे कार्यक्रम को रिकॉर्ड करते हैं. वो ट्रांसलेटर्स जो बहुत ही कम समय में बहुत तेजी के साथ मन की बात का विभिन्न क्षेत्रीय भाषाओं में अनुवाद करते हैं, मैं उनका भी आभारी हूं. मैं दूरदर्शन के और माय गॉव के साथियों को भी धन्यवाद देता हूं. देश भर के टीवी चैनल, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक मीडिया के लोग जो मन की बात को बिना कॉमर्शियल ब्रेक के दिखाते हैं, उन सभी का मैं आभार व्यक्त करता हूं.
Millions of people listen to the 100th episode of Mann Ki Baat in India and abroad, with special screenings arranged at important places to celebrate the milestone. Doordarshan telecast it live and various events were organized across the country. Prime Minister Narendra Modi was present at All India Radio Bangalore during the broadcast. Sunday's program was also broadcast live at the United Nations headquarters in New York. The Indian High Commission in London also organized a special screening on the occasion. The Prime Minister received a special message from UNESCO's Director General Audrey Azoulay regarding Mann Ki Baat. She gave her best wishes to all the countrymen on the completion of its 100th episodes. Prime Minister Narendra Modi thanked the people across India and the world who tuned in to listen to the program. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said he is truly humbled by the enthusiasm. He urged all those who heard the program to share pictures of those special moments. In today's Hotspot section, we bring you a special discussion on 100th edition of Prime Minister's Mann Ki Baat. The participants are Dr. A. Surya Prakash, former chairman, Prasar Bharati, and K.V. Prasad, senior journalist.
The Prime Minister today addressed the 100th edition of Mann Ki Baat, a very popular program which has been on air since 2014. And as a cricket-loving nation, we all know the importance of a century. Mr. Surya Prakash, we would like to understand your impressions of the Mann Ki Baat as it completed the 100th episode.
Yes, I listened to the 100th episode and I have listened to most of the episodes since it began in 2014. I must say that the beauty of Mann Ki Baat is that it's not a lecture. There is no pontification. It's a conversation. And I think conversation is central to democracy. And the Prime Minister has chosen this conversational style to connect with the people. And this is really unique. He has brought about a paradigm shift in democratic communication. You see, the style is easygoing. It's like a family elder having friendly chat with family members. There's no question of talking down. It's all about talking with people, and it exudes positive energy, and it always talks about nation building. These are some of the central aspects of Mann Ki Baat. And I must also add that Mr. Modi has done Mann Ki Baat. This Mann Ki Baat is worthy of emulation in all democracies, where those who govern are expected to remain connected with the governed. This is my view about Mann Ki Baat. It is very important from a democracy point of view. It is therefore a case study in democratic communication, where a leader has cut through the clutter and traditional barriers and established a new benchmark in citizen engagement. It showcases the united aspirations of the people and brings to fore the remarkable work of unsung heroes who are taking this nation forward with their innovation and commitment.
Dr. Surya Prakash, I think you very rightly said this is a case study for democratic communication. And if you remember, as students of communication, we all remember one of the earliest political communication we used to hear is the fireside chats which the American president had started in the World War II era. And if you now fast forward to what Prime Minister Modi has done in the 21st century, in a century when people are connected electronically and through the cyberspace, he has gone back to something as basic as a radio. Do you remember the issues and the people which the Prime Minister spoke about, some of the episodes which you think has made a lasting impression?
Yeah, actually, there are a huge range of issues that he has picked up for his conversation with people in Mann Ki Baat. For example, take the case of people with disabilities. In his 93rd episode, he spoke about the need for a dictionary in sign language, courses in sign language, Hemkosh in Braille, and India's success in parasports, a girl with Down syndrome practicing yoga. He spoke about all these people. And in his 49th episode, he spoke about his meeting with para-athletes. And in the 97th episode, he spoke about the Purple Fest in Goa. This is one thing. The other thing I remember, very recently in his 99th episode, he asked people to promote organ donation. Like he was trying to educate people on organ donation and its importance. It can give life to many people, he said. And he thanked the family of Srimati Snehalata Chowdhury for donating her organs when she died after an accident. And he took this case and he thanked the family and he told people how important organ donation is. So there are numerous cases like this. For example, when I was chairman Prasar Bharati, I had gone to Ahmedabad and that was a Sunday, and Modi ji had spoken about a letter he had got from a visually impaired teacher. The teacher had said that there must be the accessibility of persons with disability to public buildings and so on. that has to be ensured. And Modi ji spoke about that. And when I went to the AAR station in Ahmedabad, I was very happy to meet this school teacher who was so thrilled that the Prime Minister had taken up this cause following his letter to him. And the other very popular case, of course, is selfie with the daughter, which Sunil ji from Haryana had written to the Prime Minister about, and the Prime Minister said this is a great idea, and he virtually launched a national or global campaign of selfie with the daughter. There's another story, Prasad, which is very interesting, which I remember. Girl who was getting married, it was Maharashtra, I think. She told her parents not to give any gifts to the guests, but to give them saplings, gift a plant. And the picture of the pandal had all these guests sitting there. Each one had a plant by his side. And Modi ji spoke about that and said, what a great idea this is, and this must encourage people to also think about doing things in a different way. And then planting trees, constructing and protecting water bodies. They are all my heroes, he has said. And he referred to them even in his 100th episode.
Mr. Surukash, I think you very rightly said, and today he had people on the program, some of whom have directly been inspired by the Prime Minister, or some of them have actually benefited in terms of their social movement, as you said, the Beti Bachao Andolan in particular, selfie with daughter, and tradesmen in Jammu Kashmir and a lady entrepreneur in Manipur. So if one looks at it, the impact of Mann Ki Baat, Khadi sales for once has been zoomed up tremendously after the Prime Minister made a point to mention about it. So what is your assessment, sir?
I also recall this episode where he referred to Khadi, and in that he said he spoke about the virtues of Khadi and how excellent it would be for people who buy different kinds of garments to also buy Khadi garments. Now, after that, we all heard that the sales of Khadi products just shot up all over the country, and it gave a major fillip to the rural industry and the household incomes of rural people. And he also said, if you buy this, you see, you are going to help poor families which are engaged in production of Khadi. And if you have an inclination for all kinds of fabrics and clothes in your family, you can also buy Khadi products on a regular basis. This was his advice to the people. And look at the number of campaigns that he has promoted. Swachh Bharat or Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, Khadi, you name it. Probably 100 episodes, there are 100 campaigns which he has promoted.
And the biggest has been, as you said, the Swachh Bharat. I mean, it's an ongoing thing. The Prime Minister never forgets to remind people of the importance. And I think one of the master communications facility that used was during the COVID, where he talked about how people can make sure that they are safe and also rely on some of the traditional methods in which the Indians have always been following, including yoga and the traditional use of medicines to kind of build up their immunity.
Yeah, during the COVID period, the Prime Minister, through Mann Ki Baat, the kind of inspiration, the kind of confidence he injected in people is truly amazing. This is what leadership is all about.
Yeah, the most important is when in crisis, you lead from the front, and that's what I think at that point of time, the Prime Minister...
Yes, I must also tell you that the other day I heard the Home Minister, Mr. Amit Shah, he made a very important point. He said there's no political dialogue in Mann Ki Baat. You know, in all these 100 episodes, there's no politics. It's all about social issues, it's about culture, education, and so on and so forth. No politics. And Modi ji speaks about a wide range of subjects and stays clear of politics. The people across the political spectrum listen to him. More importantly, Mr. Shah says the Prime Minister has platformed the nation's creative power, innovative power, and moral power. This is what he said just 2 days ago.
In fact, as you said, there has been no politics, but certainly today one of the participants did say the wonder is how does he manage to get issues that people are talking among themselves and look for solutions and reaches the Prime Minister's ears, and he then takes up the issue which suddenly gives a new impetus and new meaning to the whole issue.
Yes, I must tell you that among Prime Ministers of India, and I have 52 years in the media, I must say that I have not come across another Prime Minister who has this kind of reach and two-way communication with people. I think he's flooded with thousands of letters every day and thousands of ideas. So this crowdsourcing that happens in a certain way and his respect for the views of the last man. This is what is truly inspiring and truly democratic.
Dr. Suryaprakash, as I mentioned in the beginning, the choice of radio was something which initially baffled people in this modern age in communication when radio was considered to be an inheritance of the past. The Prime Minister chose to turn around that impression, and somebody who has been closely associated with the media, as you just mentioned. What do you think of the Prime Minister's choice of the medium, Akashvani?
I think it was a fantastic decision on his part, though at that time many people were skeptical because of the onslaught of television. There are over 800 television channels and over 200 of them offering news and current affairs. So they were wondering why the Prime Minister was going in for Akashvani, but that was smashed in no time within the first few episodes of Mann Ki Baat because of the huge listenership of All India Radio and the huge credibility of All India Radio. These are two very strong points, and it reaches 99% of the people, and then the entire All India Radio family deserves to be congratulated. Can you imagine? They have been translating Mann Ki Baat into 22 Indian languages, 29 dialects, and in 11 foreign languages. This is truly remarkable, and I think AIR has done a great job. And I know millions of people in the country, I am aware of this, that they begin the day with All India Radio News and they will end the day with All India Radio News or some light music that is offered on many stations of All India Radio. So it's a great platform.
And Dr. Suryaprakash, I think it is little wonder that the Prime Minister took time to acknowledge the contribution of the people and the staff of All India Radio for the stupendous
I was very
work.
happy to hear that.
So somebody who has heard the 100th episode, is there a big takeaway from what as I said was a landmark event for Mann Ki Baat?
In a sense, the 100th episode, was a kind of aggregation, a summing up of what he had done over the previous 99 episodes. And as you said, he picked up a couple of people who he had referred to in his earlier episodes, including the person who's brought up the idea of a selfie with daughter and so on. And it was a great moment, this 100th episode. And he said it is a reflection of the bhavana, the feelings of people of India. That is what Mann Ki Baat is all about. And it celebrates positivity and people's participation. Every episode has been important. People of all ages have joined this effort. And as he says, this became a kind of Jan Andolan, a people's movement. Also, he mentioned that for him it has been a Adhyatmik Yatra, meaning a spiritual journey, this connect with people. And that's truly amazing.
In fact, in the beginning of today's edition, he did mention the fact that once he moved from Gujarat to Delhi, having become the Prime Minister, there was some kind of a sense of loneliness, if one were to describe it, because it's always said the man at the top feels lonely.
Lonely at the top.
Yes. So, and I think he did acknowledge the fact that having been led an active political life and being the Chief Minister of Gujarat, he was almost among people, and having moved to Delhi for a new system and a new kind of a setup, it took time for him to probably, and that was the inspiration for him to connect to people, which he was missing sorely, and that is how Mann Ki Baat surfaced.
Very true.
This is All India Radio giving you the world news. The State of New York Legislative Assembly and New Jersey General Assembly have issued special resolutions honoring the 100th episode of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's monthly radio program Mann Ki Baat. The New York Legislative Resolution has said that Mann Ki Baat has served as a unique platform for Prime Minister Modi to directly address the people of India and listeners across the world, including the Indian American community in New York State, and share his thoughts and ideas on various issues of national and international importance. The resolution added that the vital broadcast has become an effective means of communication between the government and the people of India to promote good governance and thereby deepen democracy. It noted that remarkable success of Mann Ki Baat is due in large part to the steadfast and unwavering commitment of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The resolutions were presented to External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar at a special community event in New Jersey, where the 100th episode of the radio program was broadcast. India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh will be on a 3-day official visit to Maldives from Monday. During the visit, Rajnath Singh will hold bilateral talks with his Maldivian counterpart, Ms. Maria Ahmed Didi, and Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Abdullah Shahid. In a statement, the Defence Ministry said the entire gamut of defence relations between the two countries will be reviewed during the deliberations. It said the minister will also call on Maldivian President Mr. Ibrahim Mohammed Solih. In tune with India's commitment to capacity building of friendly countries and partners in the region, Mr. Singh will gift one fast patrol vessel ship and a landing craft to the Maldives National Defence Forces. During his stay, he will also visit the ongoing project sites in the country and interact with the Indian diaspora. The minister's visit will be an important landmark in building the strong bonds of friendship between the two countries. India and the Maldives are working closely to address shared challenges including maritime security, terrorism, radicalization, piracy, trafficking, organized crime and natural disasters. India's vision of Sagar, security and growth for all in the region, along with its Neighbourhood First policy, as well as Maldives India First policy, seek to work together to jointly develop the capabilities within the Indian Ocean region. India's External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar paid an official visit to the Dominican Republic from the 27th of April to 29th of April. The Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Dominican Republic, Roberto Alvarez, and S. Jaishankar held fruitful discussions on bilateral, regional and multilateral issues of mutual interest. The ministers recognized the solid ties of friendship that unite the Dominican Republic and India since the establishment of their diplomatic relations on May 4, 1999. Both foreign ministers reiterated their interest in strengthening the political dialogue between the two countries, promoting democratic values and principles, peace and security. They reaffirmed their willingness to agree on common positions in international forums on issues of mutual interest. Acknowledging the serious threat posed by terrorism to international peace and security, they strongly condemn it in all its forms and manifestations and reaffirm their commitment to contributing to global efforts to combat terrorism by adopting a zero-tolerance approach. In this regard, Minister Alvarez welcomed the adoption of the Delhi Declaration on countering the use of new and emerging technologies for terrorist purposes at the special session of the Counter-Terrorism Committee of the United Nations Security Council. They also called for expeditious finalization and adoption of the Comprehensive Convention on International Terrorism within the UN framework. The leaders reaffirmed the importance of multilateralism as the ideal mechanism to address major global challenges and ensure high level of equity. They emphasized the need for urgent and comprehensive reforms of the UN Security Council to reflect contemporary realities. They welcomed the close cooperation between the two countries during the COVID-19 pandemic. The Dominican Republic appreciated India's supply of essential medicines and COVID-19 vaccines, particularly through its Vaccine Maitri initiative. India's Minister of State for Science and Technology, Dr. Jitendra Singh, on Sunday visited the 175-year-old London Science Museum and shared the experience of the initiative of setting up similar science museums undertaken by Prime Minister Narendra Modi in India. Dr. Jitendra Singh said that the idea of setting up these museums is to help enable the common citizens, particularly the youngsters, to realize their hidden potential and sometimes even discover their inherent aptitude which they themselves may not be aware of. He said it also ignites curiosity in them, which then may help sharpen their scientific temper and inspire creative innovation. Dr. Jitendra Singh said that India is fast emerging as the world's major bioeconomy, and over the last few years it has grown by leaps and bounds when it comes to innovation and technology. He pointed out that India has developed 4 indigenous vaccines in just 2 years. The minister said that the Indian vaccine market is expected to reach a valuation of 252 billion rupees by 2025. As part of Operation Kaveri, 229 Indian citizens stranded in the conflict zone of Sudan were rescued and safely brought to Bengaluru on Sunday. The 229 evacuees landed in Kempegowda International Airport in Bengaluru. The last-mile connectivity was provided to the evacuees. KSRTC public transport buses were arranged from Bengaluru Airport to their respective hometowns after providing necessary medical health checkup. Sudan's rival military forces accused each other of fresh violations of a ceasefire that is set to expire on Sunday as their conflict continued for third week. Hundreds of people have been killed and thousands wounded since a long simmering power struggle between the Sudanese army and the paramilitary rapid support forces erupted into conflict on the 15th of April. The situation in Khartoum, where the army has been battling RSF forces entrenched in residential areas, was relatively calm on Sunday morning after heavy clashes were heard on Saturday evening near the city centre. The Sudanese army said on Sunday it has destroyed RSF convoys moving towards Khartoum from the west. The United States urged China on Saturday to stop harassing Philippine vessels in the South China Sea, pledging to stand with the Philippines after another maritime confrontation between the two Asian countries. The Philippines on Friday accused China's Coast Guard of aggressive tactics following an incident during a Philippine Coast Guard patrol close to the second Thomas Shoal. China on Sunday said it was willing to handle maritime differences with countries of concern in the South China Sea through friendly consultations and warned the United States against interference. China's foreign ministry on Friday said the Philippine vessel had intruded into Chinese waters and made deliberate provocative moves. Beijing claims sovereignty over almost the entire South China Sea, ignoring an international ruling that the assertion has no legal basis. In the Badminton Asia Championship, Chirag Shetty and Satvik Sairaj Rankireddy have scripted history by winning the men's doubles title. The Indian duo defeated 8th-seeded Malaysian pair Teo Ee Yang and Ong Ye Sin in the final 16-21, 21-17 and 21-19. It is yet another milestone for India's premier men's doubles duo as they clinch India's second-ever Badminton Asia Championships title after Dinesh Khanna in 1965. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has congratulated the Indian duo. He said in a tweet that he is proud of Satvik Sairaj and Chirag Shetty for writing history by becoming the first Indian men's double pair to win the Badminton Asia Championships title. Now let us take a look at the major developments around the world as reported in the foreign press. The New York Times reports Ding Liren of China wins World Chess Championship. Le Monde reports Taiwan seeks closer ties to European Union. The Wall Street Journal reports Biden calls for release of jailed journalist Ivan Gershkovich, other detainees. The Straits Times reports China's manufacturing activity unexpectedly shrank in April. And now a quick look at the headlines once again. Millions of people listen to the 100th episode of India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi's Mann Ki Baat radio program. Special screenings arranged across the nation and abroad to celebrate the milestone. Prime Minister says Mann Ki Baat has become a festival of celebrating goodness and positivity of fellow citizens. India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh to embark on 3-day visit to Maldives. India brings back 229 more citizens from Sudan under Operation Kaveri. Conflict between Sudanese army and paramilitary rapid support forces continues. Ceasefire set to end at midnight. United States urges China to stop harassing Philippine vessels in South China Sea. And Satvik Sairaj Rankireddy and Chirag Shetty script history by winning men's doubles title of Dubai Badminton Asia Championship. And now, before we end, let us listen to Mahatma Gandhi's favorite bhajan Vaishnav Jan by artists from Poland. with that, we end this bulletin. We'll be back at the same time tomorrow with the next edition of World News.